Hello, everyone. So, good afternoon and good evening, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to a technical session 9B. Myself, Richa Sharma from India, and this session will be moderated by me. On the behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 6th World Conference on Smart Trends in System Security and Sustainability through Zoom. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeful and interactive session through the day. In this session, we have a 6 presentation. Each presentation will be allocated 15 minutes for presentation, which means 12 minutes for presentation and 3 minutes for question answer. And there's another request to kindly stay connected till the closing remarks. In the end, we have taking a one quick snapshot for making this conference more memorable. So please stay connected with us. And if you have any query and any updates, kindly write it down in chat box. Just before we get started, I would like to introduce our chair of this session, Professor Jagdish Bansal. Dr. Jagdish Bansal is an associate professor at South Asian University, New Delhi, India, and visiting faculty at Maths and Computer Science, Liverpool, Hope University, UK. His primary area of interest is swarm intelligence and nature-inspired optimization techniques. Recently, he proposed a fission-fusion social structure-based optimization algorithm, spider monkey optimization, which is being applied to various problems from engineering domain. And he has published more than 70 research papers in the various international journals and conferences. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Richa. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I welcome all the participants for this session. I think let's start with the first presentation.
Sure, sir. Yes. Now we can call our first presenter to present her paper on development of a computer system for the documentary process in the management process at the Vision LP Academy. A paper presenter name is Luciana.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. The authors, the technical problems, and replace the co-author Jose Rossi. Yes, I can replace the author, no, with my.
So if you have any doubts and any of this, kindly write it down me in chat box.
Yes.
Ms. Richa, I think he had some
Sure.
technical problem, so we can take the next participant.
Okay.
And by the time he will resolve the issue.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now he is able to present.
Okay. Good morning in the Peru. Elman, thank you this opportunity. When in the present, my investigation work is titled development of a computer system for the documentary process in the management process and business LP academic in the 2022 Worlds of Four Conference. The author is Luisa Paola Jorquera Vázquez, Luciana Victoria Jurado, Jesús Lagos Morón, Mario Reinaldo Medina Ramos, and my person, Jose Antonio Gociau. In this opportunity, the present investigation, no, occurrent. This is a no. No, the implement system will improve the processing of documents through the computer system, reduce the time of the search and attentions, and increase the number of files management. By the lack of service it performs due to the accumulations of the cookies complement by its actions, without any control. Know the functions of the people who integrate the file by observing their activities to obtain better managerial information in the improvement of their management through the proposed systems. The advance move to the technology that has changed dramatically, uh, showing us how computing simplify document management, improves the workflow, and thus allows individuals view gang momentum for real change and IMAP improvement. Uh, uh, and the definitions of terms where a computer system it is understood by an automated system of storage, processing, and retrieval of data, which takes advantage of the tools of computing and electronic to carry out its complex series of the process and operations. Documentary procedure, it is defined as a set of a process that allowed organizations to have control of the physical locations and current and past status of the documentations that arise and is generated within them in order to better manage their flows and the delays. No? Uh, uh, and continues where management into assume and carry out the responsibilities on the process. This can be assigned or personal, which includes concern for the disposition of the resource and structures necessary for is to have a ruling trade the coordinations of their activities in their pairs. Process, it is a set of mutually related activities that when interacting together turn the input elements into results. Uh, in academic, the academic is a professional, artists, technical, or practical technique establishment. Development, it means grow, increase, reinforcement, progress, development, or evolution of some designers, the action in the
Actually,
effective.
Josh, I
Yes.
think you should come to the proposal of your research. Actually,
Yes.
we have a limited time, so instead of explaining the background too much, you should take time for explanation of your own
Okay.
research.
Okay. Entonces, in the finally, bueno, the methodology, no, in the final in use,
Yeah, that's right. That's
eh,
right.
no, no, is a, bueno, prototype, bueno, main interface, in there the information of the document you create, follow of the procedure, trade procedure, system start, user maintenance, no? Results, no? Results are you satisfied with the implementation of the system? Does this system is trailing the process request in the company? Does the system reduces the waiting time for the customer? Finally, yes, the reference, no? Investigation for the 26, 26 articles. Y bueno, thank you very much for the moment explication for the investigation. I am finally in this moment. Yes.
Thank you so much, presenter, for your presentation. Sir, any question regarding this presentation?
Or this is the when the system is very hot, when it is actually what's the implementation of the system and in the management, no, in enterprise, no, the Peru. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And now moving ahead, we can call our next presenter to present her paper on study of augmented reality for the development of learning at the primary educational level. The paper presenter name is Marjorie.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marjorie Dayana Flores Ventes, study of system engineer faculty at the University San Juan Bautista from Lima, Peru. I will start with my exposition, a study of augmented reality for the development of learning at the primary education level. Introduction. Over time, we can imagine a magnitude of important changes in the area of education. In this case, we will take into consideration primary education and the impact that the use of augmented reality will have. This new concept requires the development of mobile devices and other technologies be adapted to support the technology and adapt to the implementation of education application with augmented reality, providing a transparency on acceptable terms for useful use by students. Therefore, this research article has the mission of studying the use of AR in primary education, taking as reference scientific articles that help guide and reach the information for the correct development of research. Materials and methods. The methodology implemented in this research is qualitative because it is based on theoretical analysis in relation to the topic of AR and also because its sample is minimal. Selection of students. Primary school students range from 6 to 10 years. The instruments used to visualize the interaction between students and augmented reality were applications such as Chromobile Science. This app is about science-related drawings that you have to color. Data information. In this aspect, we mentioned the databases that were used for information queries in reference to the theme on augmented reality. The following table shows the next index information sources. Database of Scopus, augmented reality, 3031, augmented reality in education, 12,301, augmented reality in Spanish, 437. ESCO-host augmented reality 6,956, augmented reality in education 109, y augmented reality in Spanish 157. Alicia considered augmented reality 27, augmented reality in education 4, y augmented reality in Spanish 31. And Google Academic augmented reality in English 55,800. Augmented reality in education, 18,600. Augmented reality in Spanish, 1,070. The following graph shows the next index information source expressed on pie chart of date corresponding to the augmented reality. Google Academic 45%, Scopus 24%, Alicia considered 0%, ESCO-host 31%, and augmented reality in education, Google Academic 60%. Scopus 14%, as co-host and Aloysia Concité 0%. Augmented reality and Spanish, Google Académico 63%, Scopus 26%, as co-host 9%, and Aloysia Concité 2%. The following table mentions some programs that are used for educational media, as well as experimental in areas of marketing. Software learned Learn AR allows to manage through webcam and assemble 3D image through visual code and usefulness, visual teaching for chemical materials, bonds on the human body, etc. User design by version and free software. iSchool AR, it allows to observe a very realistic scale where its different parts are indicated through colors. Usefulness used in marketing, education, books, spreads, etc. User design by version and free software. AR experience description software to improve your product or brand through augmented reality. Usefulness, it is used for marketing with a navigation interface, a video, an interactive 3D element or any multimedia element from the mobile device. A user design, también paid version and free software. Augmented author description, it has fixed markets that can be associated with models available in amplitude or imported. Usefulness, 3D models can be rotated through the movement of the marker or through a menu that allows rotation, translation, or scaling operation, among others. The user design paid version free software. Results, phase 1, survey and interview of elementary school students. It began with the visit to the Educational Center of Ingenio, Peru, in order to survey the students of the degree mentioned above. For the reason, the AR system in the different areas of primary education is taken into account. Phase 2, analysis of the results. In this phase, it was studied how the technology of the AR aroused the interest in the students to assimilate in a better way the teachings made in place. Results and graph, manifestation of development of AR in these areas, subjects taken into account in primary education level, others 40% are 14%, history 18%, in science 22%. Consideration of the usefulness of implementing a tool such as AR in primary education level without AR 20%, with AR 18%. Conclusion. Taking reference to the review carried out, it can be concluded that the use of the technologies shows many advances and impulse in areas such as education, medicine, physics, etc. It is important for the user of this technology of advance towards an improvement of results. This generating projection that's awakening notion of learning or decide to want to discover more every day according to the technology advance. Other methods will be discovered to include in teaching, and this will be only the beginning of educational improvement. These are the reference. Thank you so much for all of you.
So in between, if there is any question, other participants can please pose the questions.
Actually, sir, nobody has a question. So if you have any questions, so kindly please ask.
No, I think it's okay to go ahead.
Okay, done, sir. So thank you so much, Marjorie. And now I would like to call our next presenter. To present his paper on analysis of throughput gain and multi-tier heterogeneous networks. And the paper presenter name is Anand.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anand Gatsadar from Nepal, and I'm a PhD student. And currently, I'm enrolled in Institute of Engineering, Pulchok, Tribhuvan University, in Department of Electronics and Computer Engineering. So my topic of presentation is analysis of throughput gain in multi-tier heterogeneous networks. And I'm very thankful to World Conference on Smart Trains and Systems, Security and Sustainability for providing me a chance to present. So I want to start my presentation, and I have around 21 slides, and it would not take more than 10 minutes. So let's start with the introduction. As we know that massive IoT, it's a promising technology, and it deals with low power device to communicate with the nearby devices. And its features, which are mentioned in the figure. So we have it enhances the voice over LTE. It provides better mobility, low latency, energy reduction, high density support, cell size extension, device positioning, and provides higher data rate. So which is a must, and also provides TDD support. So my objective of this presentation is, this research is to minimize the interference between the relay nodes by using a robust cancellation techniques, in which I have used successive interference cancellation technique. So as you can see in the figure that there are many devices which are trying to connect with the base station. So there are a lot of interferences. So choosing a better interference techniques can improve our throughput gain in the receiver side. So I have developed a statistical approach to analyze the throughput analysis in 5G. So my motivation and contributions are, as you know, that interference is a very serious issue in cellular mobile communication. So we need to, so my research aims to minimize the interference by using cancellation techniques. So it provides an analysis of interference cancellation technique with multi-tier heterogeneous network. And it also provides a throughput gain analysis for user equipment in multi-tier heterogeneous networks. And moving forward to the system model. So we can see in figure 1, it shows the system model where we have base stations and mobile devices and relay nodes. So there are a lot of interference which are demonstrated by various colors. So DS is the desired signal, IRI is the inter-relay interference, RUI is the relay to user interference between relay and the user devices, and similar relay to device interference, cellular to cellular device interference. So these are the various types of interferences which degrades our desired signal. So in order to remove all these interferences, we use successive interference cancellation technique in the receiver side. So there are different assumptions which we have made throughout our research. The relay node, cellular and device-to-device users are randomly distributed, and it's using Poisson point process. And the transmission power constraints for base station and relay node, cellular users and device-to-device users, which are defined as follows. And it's given by the equation which is shown in the figure, and where rho is the transmission power and x is the transmitted signal. And this is our channel model where base station is transmitting information signal connected to relay node, and a relay node receives multiple signals from various base stations, and which consists of desired signal as well. So, and it consists of desired signal from base station via channel. This is the channel with path loss PLM. PLM is the path loss between base station and relay node, and IRI is inter-relay interference from RZ via channel with path loss between relay nodes, and PLRR, which represents the path loss between relay to relay nodes, and as RI it represents the relay's self-interference channel. So we have analysis for SINR calculation. So this is in network without interference cancellation techniques. So this here we first calculate the SINR, the D to D user DI. It receives several signals which include the desired signal. As I have already mentioned that the users receive the desired signal as well as the interference from various devices in the network. So it also has plus a noise received, the sum of all relay to device interference from relay node, sum of all device to device interference. So the total received signal now becomes this, and the receive SNR, which we calculate, equals to a received signal but divided with total overall interference. And this is our throughput gain analysis based on which we derived based on these equations we derived our results. So the throughput gain for cellular user and for throughput gain for device to device user are presented in these equations. As I have already mentioned that we have used SIC cancellation, I mean a successive interference cancellation technique to reduce the various interferences. So in this technique, like in the first phase, so in the right, it shows how SIC technique works. So we have a signal coming, and then in the first phase, SIC decodes the strongest interference signals, and it treats all the signal as a noise. And in the second phase, it generates the strongest interference signal. And in the third phase, it decodes, and this process is repeated. So until the desired signal is decoded. In this way, SIC technique works. And coming to results analysis, so we have three different. We have compared SIC with other two algorithms. One is zero forcing technique, and one is without cancellation technique. How our network looks, our signal, the signal that we received without interference cancellation. So we have used zero forcing technique and without cancellation technique, and even the cancellation technique, which is SIC model, to with respect to density fusion and signal to interference ratio. And in this network, we have used reference receiver at the origin, and we have taken 5,000 realizations using Monte Carlo simulation, and SIR is varied from given dV to calculate the probabilities. And microcells are placed at the fixed position with cell radius of 40 meters, and users are allowed to move within a geographical area. So these are the parameters which I have used in the simulation, and the figure in the right shows the model in the MATLAB where the users are randomly distributed, the macro cells are randomly distributed within a geographical area and are freely to move from one point to another. And in the center, we have placed a base station. So the first graph shows the throughput versus workstations, where the number of workstations are increased from 20 to 200, and then at certain point the throughput gets stable. So the throughput of multi-heterogeneous network is analyzed. The throughput is analyzed using three different techniques. One is SIC, and the one is zero forcing, and one is no SIC without using SIC technique. So we can see the result throughput is better for SIC technique, I mean using interference cancellation techniques. So, and the number of users have varied, and throughput was recorded for each user density without using interference cancellation techniques. And we can see that using SIC technique, there is an increase of almost 10% than that without using SIC technique. User mean throughput with respect to noise power. So this graph shows like the noise power is increased from 96 dBm to minus 98 dBm, and the y-axis shows the throughput. And with an increase in noise, we can see that the throughput gets decreased. So the performance of our proposed method in terms of user mean throughput is compared with other methods. Yeah. So the threshold is fixed at minus 15 dB, and the interference power is then varied. So this x-axis denotes the interference power. So it's gradually increased from 96 dBm to minus 78 dBm. So as you see that when noise power reduces, gradual increase in noise power reduces the received signal strength, signal to interference ratio, whereas for cancellation technique, degradation further reduced due to cancellation stronger interference at the receiver. And then this graph shows the user mean throughput versus load factor. The load factor is varied from 0.5 to 1, and the load factor here is varied between 5% to 100% at a small increment of 10%. So in this graph, we see that SIC outperforms the other two techniques in terms of average mean throughput. So with an increase in load factor, the congestion in the cell increases, which results in the decrease of data rate and throughput gain. So as it is 100%, the noise becomes maximum, which drops the SINI, resulting in lower user mean throughput, which we can see from the figure. And the last graph shows the user mean throughput versus the data rate. So it is obvious, like as we increase the data rate, the throughput increases. So the data rate is varied for all the three methods. So we keep the SIR threshold constant at minus 15 dB, and the data rate was varied. And we can see in this figure as well, like SIC method outperforms the other two methods, thus increasing the user mean throughput. So finally, the conclusion, this work formulates the 5G framework, analyzes the interference in multi-tier heterogeneous network. We have analyzed various mitigation techniques using SIC technique, and the simulation illustrates that SIC technique offers a noteworthy interference mitigation and provides better system performance and spectral efficiency as compared to the traditional mitigation approaches. And these are my references. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm really sorry, like I forgot to turn on my video.
Thank you so much, Anand. Very well presented. And I would like to ask our chair if you have any question.
No, it's okay. If the participant has any question, I'm okay. I think from my side, no question.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So moving ahead, we can call our next presenter. To present his paper on nonlinear spectral processing on GRP signals. The paper presenter name is Drimtree. I think he is absent, so we can call another presenter. The paper presenter name is Dogan Ken. To present his paper on adapted decoupling physiosophy of industrial facilities that can work in microgrid structure.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Doğan Güran from Turkey. I'm working at Siemens Turkey as senior system engineer. I would like to present to our study about the adaptive decoupling philosophy for industrial facilities that can work in microgrid structure. I would like to share my screen firstly. Yeah, I think it is done. Can you see it? Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Industrial facilities provide the electrical energy they need from the national grid. On the other hand, the critical industrial facilities have their own energy generation resources besides the grid connection for the energy reliability. Gas turbines and steam turbines are generally preferred as electrical energy sources. Recently, the studies have been carried out to use the wind and solar power plants and energy storage system to support these commercial generation units, especially in order to reduce the carbon footprint. Facilities with generation system prefer an operating structure parallel with the electricity grid in order to ensure the continuity of their energy reliability in case of faults in their internal system. However, it is difficult to cope with the long-term grid failures, and they must be isolated from grid quickly and safely. The coupling systems are installed in order to meet these needs of functionality. To maintain the energy supply in the facility, a bundle of systems must be installed for and operated. You can see on the screen the system such as load shedding system for consumption balance, SCADA system for control and monitoring, fault recording system for analyzing, load management system for control the load balance, and the synchronizing system for the working parallel with the different type of energy sources. Established power plants show us the connection to the national grid and their own energy sources. Implemented different system and capable working together conditions causes the industrial facilities to transform into a more complex structure. In this more complex structure, system reliability and continuity gain more importance. As you see on the screen, the facility is disconnected from the grid due to a fault on the network, or realizes its internal consumption through its own generation resources without the grid connection. This circumstances is called island mode operation. Actually, the load shedding system performs the load reduction process required by the facility in order to ensure the generation consumption balance after the plant is switched to the island operation by the fault separation system and ensure the stable operation of the facility. In case of the faults, the decoupling system provides a trigger signal to isolate the network fast and safely. Meanwhile, starting the load shedding processing. If this transfer is delayed, it could cause an explosion on the power plant, loss of equipment, properties, production, and shutdown of the facility. This shutdown also can be caused of toxic gases at the oil and gas plants. Some toxic gases cannot be seen or smelled, but they can cause death and huge explosion. In addition, it can be stated that when there is an unexpected shutdown condition, recommissioning can take around 3 or more days, and this creates serious costs. In order to prevent this type of delays, an effective decoupling system model is aimed to be used for refinery facilities. You could see our single line of the refinery that our implemented decoupling system is based on our study. The industrial facility on the screen is connected 154 kilovolt system, the national grid site, by 2 separate transformers. You can see in here. The facility is supplied through double feeders. It's mean in here. 34.5 kilovolt system is a structure that can work interconnected with two separate busbar and bus coupling feeder. The single line diagram includes 3 gas turbines and 4 steam turbines. The main purposes of our decoupling system is to ensure the power stability, as I described before. We could see a graphic here show us why we need to be fast for critical cases. In the graphic, the stability is changing rapidly in a couple hundred milliseconds. For example, while working in grid-connected mode, the stability issues are depending on turbine generators' set inertia, as well as their controller performance. Angular stability is defining the maximum fault duration which the generator can withstand without having a pole slip. This is mainly driven by inertial system response. Voltage stability is defining the fault duration which the complete facilities can withstand without having a voltage instability for the whole structure. Voltage instability may occur during motor speed up after slowing down due to a closed fault. In that case, motor try to draw reactive power in order to speed up, and that reactive power can be supplied only from the generators in island mode. If generators cannot supply the required reactive power, the voltage drops continue, which creates the voltage instability. In industrial plants, for most cases, voltage stability have shorter duration when compared with angular stability duration. The voltage schedule used for decoupling show variance according to whether the voltage measured is made from 154 kilovolt system or 34.5 kilovolt busbar. Since the 154 kilovolt point directly point to the grid, the real voltage drop is obtained. However, since there are generation units at the 34.5 kilovolt, the voltage drop value observed in a possible fault varies according to the number of operating units that are in operation. Obtaining voltage information from 34.5 kilovolt level causes a narrower band for decoupling. For this reason, it is recommended to have the measurement from 154 kilovolt busbar, of course, if it is possible. In this picture, the reason of having the same disconnecting time, two voltage levels, mean 65% and 75%, is that the distance protection zones of the network for the second fault stage cannot exceed the minimum time required to ensure system stability. Where possible, separate periods can be foreseen. Those disconnection times from the grid can be optimized depending on the criteria. According to the result of stability analysis, minimum turbine condition is shown for decoupling philosophy. Minimum turbine criteria is also important issues for decoupling blocking decision in order not to face a blackout in island mode operation. The conditions are generate the system operation scenarios and considering multiple different island operations. As you see in here, for example, condition was one is active in case of the under voltage condition, and if there are any directional currents through the direction to the line side. And condition 2 is include all status. Additional condition 1, it includes frequency and over voltage. And condition 3 is only includes frequency and over voltage condition. This condition depends on defined here. After completing the analysis of the system, the decoupling relay is applied at the point of disconnecting from the network connection, and it is highlighted in here as red. And these are our decoupling points, and these relay are implementing for the this point. And And our study, 2 of these relays are designed to work with medium voltage site information, and other 2 of is high voltage system information. For this study structure, the measurements are taken from only 34.5 kilovolt system, not from 154 kilovolt system due to the government regulation. These relays in each system are designed to operate as redundant. At least one relay will operate in case of relay failure. Now you can see on the screen the hardware structure. The digital and analog information needed by the decoupling system is obtained via copper cable at the decoupling points. The speed and accuracy of this information is very important for the reliable operation of the system. For digital information used, all circuit breaker and disconnected position information affecting the operation philosophy is obtained through the specific contact of reliable equipment. Using these contacts enable us to take fast action. The advanced relay technology also reduces possible delays. You can see the decoupling decision signal is taken by other related system, which mentioned before, in order to start their self-process system. As a result of our previous analysis and hardware configuration, we are creating a decoupling system software based on required scenario. Many more different logic are needed to create faster and more reliable operation by the decoupling relay. The software is also designed for considering multiple generations input and also multiple different islands. If any cases happen in different islands at the same time, system must react immediately as a different decoupling system, or can react one decoupling system in overall island mode. The design software is capable to analyze these fast changeable conditions. Our adaptive decoupling system is designed to act automatically and to avoid any human mistake during critical operation in limited time. On the other hand, we have also designed our system and creating additional development to reduce the operation time in our system. For example, the first item that you can see top on the screen, the feeder-on signal and no-trip signal are connected to AND gate and logic gates. By doing so, we are eliminating the need to wait the circuit breaker opening time. As a result of study, all mentioned criteria were taken into consideration in the model proposal for the study. In this way, the suitable equipment for purposes was selected and correct philosophy was applied. This solution is installed and running in refinery. All tests performed after installation have shown that the system works successfully. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir, any question?
Not from my side, but if anybody else has. Okay, I think we should go ahead for the next presentation.
Okay, so we can call our next presenter to present his paper on traffic pattern plot video identification in an encrypted network traffic. Paper presenter name is Mohammad A.B. Fayaz. I think he's not here. So in this session, we have one more presentation. The paper presenter name is Jose Antonio to present his paper on computer security importance and scope in organization. This paper is not listed in this session, but this paper belongs to previous ones. So we
Yeah.
considered this paper in this session.
Yes.
Dear presenter, please continue your presentation.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning. I present the computer security importance and scope in organization. Introduction. The issue of security and can computer see security as important. Currently, there is a computer that carry out can be as a press scissors. Si quas is serves as a tool of daily life. The use of the a technology has spread diverse way to say degree or phones, tablet, laptops, etc. Is at moment where when when risks appear in parallel to the growth in the use of information technology and communication networks, the number of security incidents has increased. The greater the volume of information processed and transfer electronic and electromagnetic, the greater the risk derived from its loss, alteration, or disclosure. History of problem. Finally, it can be indicated information security in any organization and constantly and affect base security are safer. Attacks can fraud. In addition, they continually face or sabotage or viruses with the consequent risk of deletion and loss of information. The key is for the organization to invest resources in applying tools that improve security. Access controls. This provides us with access information and we implement at the level of the operation system of information systems. In database is a specific security package or any other reference utility. Identification and authentication is a first line or the defense for most computerized systems, preventing the entry of unauthorized persons and is the basis for almost all access controls, as well allowing monitoring of user activities is a verification query of outbay or identify in identification system. Security politics. Security politics must be response to the need to maintain a security environment. Fraud around crypto access will continue to increase. In a difference to a challenge in the mode war is where mention of the new technology, especially those that most fashionably will be undoubtedly be targeted for trickery. Technical challenge for companies. In 2020, there was a lot of talk about technological infrastructure needed to work remotely securely since it has been complex for many organizations, and with the adoption of the hybrid model, it's even more so. Method. In the study of art, there is series of investigation related to information security and vulnerabilities, which are trying in order to understand an importance in the current environment at computer systems. Geometry indicators universally all individuals possesses that characteristic uniqueness characteristic required of a biometric system. Effectiveness is use must be made comfortable and fast for users acceptably. Results. In results, the research was carried out to propose security measures for different types of organization in two forms informations. Security protection have been integrated logical and physical. Basic security must be studied in depth in this such as identification, authorization, integration, confidentiality, and availability of information. Are employees of the same funds trained in the computer security? Percentage of the total sample responded employees trained in computer security. Results. A figure co-funds a waste place be illustration for cations are centered while on ones are distify the micro button button fuses do the rec for meat automatically. Always 33.3%, almost way equal, very light equal. Are the regulations, policies, are standard for the use computer or progress or in organization? 66.7% in agreement, 0% in disagreement, 23.3% no idea. Thanks. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
So, Ms. Richa, may I ask one question from the presenter?
Sure, sir. Sure. Sir.
Yeah. What are the security algorithms which you have used for this proposal? Which kind of security algorithms you have utilized or used? You got my question? Luciana, Victoria, you got my question? Can you hear me?
Yes. Well, okay. In organizations, management, both sides. No? Yes.
Sorry, I could not understand which algorithm you have used. I saw for the security, means which encryption algorithm you have used.
Especially, there are no description for this study, That
Okay.
is not objective research.
Okay, you want to say that it's a general proposal for the security of the organization. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Richa ji. Mr. Cha.
Sir, in this session, we have one more presentation.
Oh,
Dr. Mohammad A.B. Fayaz is here, so his presentation is pending.
yeah.
Hello, everyone. Could I share my screen and then we'll start if that's okay? Could everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm good to start, or do I have to wait?
You are good to start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Mohammed Asad Bilal Fayaz, and before I start, I would like to thank you, the World S4 conference, for giving me this opportunity to present my paper. The paper is entitled as Traffic Pattern Plot. This work is able to identify videos in encrypted network traffic. Now, before I start, I would like to highlight my wonderful co-authors who have worked tirelessly, especially Alisher Kamal, Sayyid Muhammad Ammar Hassan Bukhari, Muhammad Usman Shahid Khan, and Tahir Maqsood, who is working from ComSat Pakistan and have presented some real good results, which I'll share with you from my side. I'm from Manchester Metropolitan University. So the agenda for today is I'll give a brief introduction of what the problem is. And before delving into the methodology, I'll also talk about the related work that is very similar or not so similar with our work. And then I will describe the results and some discussion points on it before giving some conclusive remarks. So if we look at the research community and scientific papers, the video identification in internet traffic has become a really popular research area. Now, why is that? It is because if you are able to look at the internet history, and based on that internet history, you're able to set certain profiles. Now, because of that profiles, you're able to identify different people such as militants or adversaries. And this is very, very useful for security companies. But here's the problem. With an increase in the research in video identification, people are more increasingly using security such as virtual private networks. Now, with the use or rise of VPNs, um, it is kind of hard to do profiling. This is where this particular paper comes in. Now, as you might have known if you have experience in artificial intelligence, convolution neural network has been here for quite a long time for recognizing patterns in images. This particular paper utilized the distinct pattern of a video, which is taken from a network and utilized as an image in convolution neural network. And we shall discuss that later on. But before, what are my contributions, our contributions? The contribution of our paper are, it provide a generic method that could be used to identify the videos in the network traffic. And with doing that, it also allows us to visualize those distinct patterns as well. So even for a layman, just by looking at those images, it can understand a bit how they are distinct in different qualities of videos. Now, those distinct features are then used as traffic patterns to be able to identify videos in there. Just so that we have a non-biased comparison, we only plotted the distinct feature for first 120 seconds, and we only considered unidirectional flow. And because of that, the size of the information is really small as well, which requires only 4 bytes to store that particular value of one image. Okay, so what are the related work? The most closest related work is done by work number 1, Safira and other authors who have used convolution neural network. They have used convolution neural network to get flow images, but they have done it on different type of network traffic. It is different from our work where we are using different types of videos and identifying videos rather than distinguishing between the network traffic, but still somehow it is very correlated with what we are trying to do. There are other methods who have used such as extreme learning machines. Even some people like the work on 3chan have used convolution neural network and used it as an image to classify it, or other people have used bag of words, which is used as distinct features from an attributes to actually detect different things. Or we have traditional methods as well, such as presented in the last one, where they're using features for traditional algorithm of machine learning to be able to classify it. So what is the methodology that we have used? So like I mentioned before, what we are trying to do is we are trying to identify videos, but not just take the video as a whole, but we take this traffic flow as an image as well. So if you follow my cursor, we have video being playing on a computer. What we're trying to do, as you all might be aware of it, that everything on internet is stored in packets, right? So what we do is we take packet size per arrival time and store it into packet capture file here. Now, this allows us to store this information and plot it, traffic pattern plot, TPP, we call it. Now, as you can see, we can take this TPP as an image. With that image, we can feed it to our convolution neural network model, and this will allow us to classify different images according to their classes. Before I delve into how this CNN works, let me give you a quick look at different types of TPP. This is where we have different videos who are being played at different qualities on VPN and not on VPN as well. As you can clearly see without even looking or having any expertise, you can clearly see that the pattern of this traffic flow on different video quality is different, which means we could use this as a feature of an image and be able to classify whether it belongs to auto quality, 360, 1080p, or VPN. But how does convolution neural network actually classify them? So let's take one image here. This image contains different lines, the black lines here, the black dots, and then white spaces in there. Let's think of it as some features. So we can say there is a feature of black line at the top left image, and we have a white portion at the top bottom right of the image. So what it does is it takes a convolution layer, which is simply different filters, we call it, or sometimes they're called kernels as well. In this case, 6x6 kernel, and there are 100 of them. What it does is it takes different matrix multiplication in a subset of an image and multiply those numbers with these numbers. And it repeatedly does this every time in all portion of an image. Now think of this way. If I have this particular box and I'm multiplying numbers in there, this black portion here will give me a higher number compared with these white ones, because the computer stored image as numbers, right? So the black will have a very sharp increase or decrease of numbers compared with the white portion. And when you do metric multiplication, it will give you a different one, which means in this next image, I can store this particular feature only and ignore the useless or unnecessary parts. So this is how it keep learning those features throughout these convolution layers. And it has maximum pooling layer as well, which is just simply whatever feature it learned, it only uses that in the next one by reducing the size of an image. Now you must be noticing that we are learning quite a lot of features. What if the CNN learns all the feature in this image and not overgeneralize it? Well, this is where we use a dropout layer. This 0.25 means that 25% of the features that it learned, it randomly drops it, which we call avoiding the overfitting problem. And then whatever features it learns, it uses the flatten and dense layers to give those output with regards to number of classes we have. So for our data set, what we
Sorry for
did
interrupt,
is,
dear presenter. Can you please conclude your research?
I still have 4-5 minutes,
Can you please hurry up?
but I have time. 4-5
Yes,
minutes.
you have.
Anyhow, so the data set we have is with different qualities, such as the auto quality or with different quality 360 and 1080p as well. So what we are trying to do here is we're trying to use the feature of Python, Selenium, and Chrome driver and use it into the Chrome browser to play the video and use Fireshark to capture those videos as well. Once we have captured it, we are able to get our data set into a format where we can divide 80% for the training and 20% for the test. Since we don't have any other method that use the same one, we can clearly use VGG and VPS to compare our results on there. So with regards to results, we have two different classification problem, one for VPN and non-VPN, and the other one title prediction on different qualities, such as auto, 360, 1080p. And for our evaluation metrics, we have confusion metrics and accuracy. In traffic classification results, you can clearly see that it outperforms compared with BPS and VGG. It achieved an accuracy of 98%. Compared with the other one, if you see the video title one as well, it outperformed in almost all of them, with just one having a somewhat equal accuracy of 87 to 88%. And this is the confusion metrics showing the same results as well. So in conclusion, we present a video identification technique in encrypted network, which is used to classify images. And we have taken packet size per arrival time to obtain traffic pattern plot. And we use it as in our CNN model with different qualities of videos. And we are able to achieve an accuracy of 98%, which outperform other models. With that, I'll conclude my work. Here are some references, and I'll take any questions now.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir, any question regarding this presentation? I think there's a new question. So we can call our next presenter to present is a paper on nonlinear spectral processing of GRP signals.
So we can help you to share your screen as previously as you have shared your screen with that green symbol of share screen option.
No. You mean?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Can you please, sir, start your screen sharing? Richa ma'am, I think the participant is not here with us.
Okay, so now we can conclude the session. So now we had completed all our presentations, and I sincerely thank our author for the excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and our participant for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of whole team, we thank you for your support in this version and the previous version. We will be happy to have you in the next version of this conference. All the presenter would be getting digital certificates in 2 to 3 working days, and the public and all the papers have already forwarded to the Springers. So kindly please cooperate with the team of WS4. And I also thank our chair of this session, Dr. Jagdish Chand Bansal, for chairing this session. I think sir have some technical issue. Sir, am I audible? I think sir have some problems. So thank you so much everyone for being a part of this international conference. And I just wanted to tell everybody, I just one request to kindly turn on the cameras for taking a quick snapshot for making this virtual conference more memorable. So please turn on the cameras. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. Take care.